Good morning. Denise Dryden here, doing my weekly Sunday morning chats. And I often try to keep it around family relationships, sort of bring some things in like our, I'm checking my sound, like our family relationships, some of the psychological terms, some of what, different writers are bringing up. And today I'm going to really go out there and I'm going to say we need to start bringing astrology into the dynamics of our relationships, and we need to start normalizing astrology. So I've been working with this asteroid Chiron and the asteroid system that Chiron is in for about the last 3 or 4 years now. And what I'm discovering is that it's an interesting pairing because Chiron represents our nervous system. And our nervous system is what we as highly sensitives and energetically reactive are using as a pulsing navigator into who we are and how we process the world. So if Chiron represents our nervous system and it's an asteroid that we can find on our charts, what it means is that we have this little, it's called the cheat sheet, right? It's a therapeutic cheat sheet, it's a coaching cheat sheet, it's spiritual, self-help. Regardless of where you are and what you're doing, Chiron has information. So Chiron is it's an asteroid, and it's an asteroid system that sort of moves between Saturn and Uranus. And the train's going to start talking again. It's always interesting how the trains want to be heard during this time. They're getting started. It's a centaur in Greek mythology, and the centaur is a healer who knows herbs and is master at what they do. They're very patient, they're very kind. Chiron in the Greek mythology was someone who collected herbs and provided healing for warriors, especially warriors getting ready to prepare for war or for those coming back. Chiron himself was wounded and couldn't heal himself, so they call him the wounded healer. And this is a new system. This asteroid system sort of appeared about 150 years ago, and I believe it's here to guide us. So since Chiron also represents our deepest lessons, our wounds, our gifts, it's like the flip side. Whatever our wounds are what train us so well to be who we are in the future. So we can use Chiron to direct us when we're stuck, when we're derailed, when we need a different perspective, when we're pushing against programming, when we're looking at conditioning and wondering, what the heck, how am I going to break this? Where are my blind spots? What's working? Where do I overcompensate? Where do I put my focus in the future so that I can grow? So, I've played so many roles in my life. I'm in my early 60s now. I've been a teacher, I've been a coach, an athletic coach, a personal life coach. I've been a mother, I've been a wife, I've been a partner, I've been a leader, I've done admissions and therapeutic programs and coached thousands of families over the last 25 years. So what I know is in all of these relational roles, knowing what the wounds are, there goes the horn, what the wounds are that are going to come up and derail me makes it easier for me to know how to do relationship. It makes sense, right? So in the parent-teen dynamics of therapeutic care, I spent a lot of time in the psychology, the psychiatric, the DSM models. Let's look at behavior modification. Let's look at this. Let's look at addiction issues. And what I have found was that none of that is as helpful as being able to zero in directly on this astrology mix, where we can find out what best sort of out of these older models and find out what works in a different way. So Chiron can pinpoint something. It can go right to, here's where your pain resides, here's where your pattern resides. It can give you a specific area of focus. So what I've started to do with my clients is I'd love to work with you, but I need your astrological chart information first so that I can start to gather what might be going on in these dynamics and then learn how to flip it. So what we want to do is because it's our our wounds and it's our gifts. What we want to do is we want to learn how to flip it in and make it and step towards our gifts, right? So Chiron is retrograde. It's going retrograde. It went retrograde July 15th. It's going to be there till December 20th. What that tells me is that it's gone from being external, sort of out there, tap, tap, tap on the shoulder, hey, you might want to, into something very specific like, hey, now we've moved inside to your nervous system and we're going to create havoc. We're going to keep triggering you until you figure out what needs to come to the surface, where your conditioning, where your gifts are, and we need you to find them now. So it's like a little impatient, right? You're going to want to watch this again, and you're going to want to take some notes and make a list. So for right now, I just want you to simply listen and feel through what I'm inviting you to do with Chiron, because I'm going to take the tips and teach you how to get to Chiron and what you can find out. So what I really want you to do as we go through, when you do your list, is to get on the computer and search and read and document and explore. Read everything you can find. Sometimes I'll just put in like, what is Chiron? And then read every article that's on that search page. And then even go to the second page or the third page and look for like a lightning bolt. Look for the eclectic messages that kind of come and get you. That's exactly what I was going to say, and then this train did this. Okay, so number one. Most astrological charts are not going to list Chiron. So what you have to do is you have to go and get your own chart and add it. So I use astro.com, and you can create an account, and then you enter your birth date. You need your exact time of your exact time of birth, and your location, right? And then you click on the extended chart selection, and you go under display and calculations and aspects, and you just click on Chiron. Yes, show me where Chiron is in my chart. Okay, so that's the first thing. Get on astrology or astro.com and run your astrology chart and add Chiron. So you want to know where Chiron is in your chart. Number two, when you get the chart printout, you're going to see this symbol. It's a circle with a K on the top. This is Chiron. Chiron is also, the K is our key. It's our key. So the first thing to do is read up on Chiron. What is Chiron? Where is it? How long has it been around? Is Denise crazy? What does this mean? Find out get your own curiosity going about what Chiron is. Simple. You don't have to have a background in astrology. You don't have to have a background in any form of research. All you need to do is ask the question, what is Chiron? And go find out. Read and read and read, and you'll find out. Here's the Greek mythology, here's the planet, here's why they call them the same, etc., right? So number three, once you have your chart in front of you, you find out where this K is on the external signs, which are the zodiac signs. So you find out what zodiac sign your Chiron is in. And you do this, and you just simply get a piece of paper and write, my Chiron is mine's in Aquarius, right? So it's the sign on the outer edge, and then you start to do your research. Chiron in Aquarius, Chiron in Pisces, Chiron in Aries, Chiron in Taurus, okay? So you get the system down. So what it does is Chiron will stay in any one of these signs for either a year and a half up to 9 years. Pisces and Aries are the two longest, between 8 and 9 years each. Okay, so we are in a 9-year period of Aries. What it does is it's a collective grouping, which means everyone born at that time has sort of like, this is the state of the world where you came in. This is what's going on. And when you search for like Chiron in Aquarius, which you'll find out, well, that's just for me, right? What I'll find out is that there was a lot going on in the world at that time, and it was reflected in this Aquarian sign. And so for those of you who were born in 1968 to 1977, you're in the Aries, which is the largest group and the longest. And right now, between 2018 and 2027, you're having your Chiron return, which is like for 49 and a half to 50 years. It's kind of like, Chiron's coming back up and going, so are you paying any attention to me yet? It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. And Aries isn't exactly in, patient. So, it's kind of like get going and get going fast. Okay. Number 4, find out what house your Chiron is in. Now, the houses tell you what part of human life your wound, your issue is within. So, like the first house is the sense of self. The second house is resources. The third house is about your relationship with others, siblings, neighborhood, school friends. House number 4 is about your home and your hearth and your sense of belonging. Okay. And each of these houses have a ruling zodiac sign. So find out what house. And then it's really simple. You don't even have to understand what houses are. All you do is Chiron in the second house, Chiron in the third house. And then you watch what happens, because now they've taken information about Chiron and they've shown you, first you did the zodiac sign, now you're doing the actual house. And then you can have fun, like Chiron in Aquarius in the 8th house. Chiron in let's see, in Aries in the 5th house. Then you get some ideas of and there's specific articles there, right? So now that number 5, now that you know the sign and the house, find out what zodiac sign rules that house, because that zodiac sign has an element associated with it. So it's either going to be fire, it's going to be water, it's going to be air, or it's going to be earth. I have found in my coaching that understanding what vehicle this pain's going to come through, is it going to come through in your repetitive negative thought patterns like air, and how wicked smart you are, and how intelligence can work for or against you at any time. So you see how the element can really make a difference. Okay? Now, number 6, this is all a collective message and purpose. It gives you an area to focus on. It gives you something to start with, which is I'm doing self-help on a much deeper level. What I'm doing is I've started with this collective, and then I've gone to my area of focus, and then I've gone to the vehicle in which my wound comes out most predominantly. So what I'm saying here is that Chiron is like a little cheat sheet. It will help you get to some information faster. And then you can take this to your therapist. You can take this into your group discussions. You can take this to your partner and say, what do you think? You can take this to your children and say, this is what I'm discovering about myself. If this is my wound, can help me find my gifts. Or if this is my gift, show me how I cover it with my wound. So Chiron is fabulous to lead you through this time between now and December, to get your feet on the ground and to explore. So if you want more information about that, you can find me on DeniseDrydenCoaching.com, and I'm doing actual Chiron sessions, individual sessions, walking you through this chart in a full hour and a half, or doing 4 to 6 week coaching sessions so that you have some time during this dynamic time on our earth to get some information you haven't had before. So have a great Sunday, and I will talk to you next Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.